Good afternoon. This is Mortlake Summer Fair. This is Watney's Green, which is green that's attached to the old brewery here, the brewery that closed a couple of years ago. They think this is going to be the last Mortlake Summer Fair because at the moment the people who bought the brewery side are saying they're going to develop this field, although there's a bit of a legal argument going on about whether they're allowed to or not and whether they actually own it. So we thought we'd come and see the fair just in case it is the last one.
Welcome to another episode of Toby Stupid Vlog.
Super high tide here at Mortlake. It's another bit of the old brewery. So, yes, there was an entry fee for the fair and we haven't bought any cash, so we watched all the fair from the outside. He seems happy. Golf day, Batchworth Park. There's my ball. Let's see where it is in a moment. Now, believe it or not, I remember this hole. This is a really, really short one down the hill on the right hand side. There you go. Rabbit pie. All I gotta do is catch one, put it in my bag. Feel like we've missed some important golf updates. So that little hole I showed you, got a par on that, which is good. 3 actually went quite well, and I got a 4 on the other short hole. Other than that, it's been sort of consistent 8s and the occasional 9. This is a nice spot though, isn't it? This is the 18th tee. So did he play 18 holes, I hear you ask? That's an excellent question. What I will say is, this is the last one. It's actually really hot today and it's actually getting a little bit hard to concentrate with the heat. It's very nice out. It's a good day to be outdoors. See the wildlife, ducks and squirrels and dragonflies and what have you. And the clubhouse. Look, it's summer. I'm joking, obviously. It is summer, but it's an English summer, so it started raining at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and it's going to keep raining reasonably heavily until about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're apparently getting a month's rain in a day. It's like binge weather, this country. It's terrible. Anyway, I've just been to the doctors for the first time in like a bazillion years. My throat's being a bit weird, but it's nothing, so better safe than sorry. And I'm going to go home and eat curry to punish it. Good evening. That was a little bit of the outside of the launch pod, which is a small modular home that RHP is developing. To me, it's really, really exciting. It is quite small, but it's ever so contemporary inside. It's ever so clever. And it can be rented out at ever such affordable levels. Affordability is obviously a bit of a dirty word in terms of what people think it should and shouldn't mean, but let's put it this way: you can rent those out for a lot less than you could rent out a conventional build property because you can build them for a lot less. So I'm very excited about those. So usually when I come out of board meetings, I've just been to the Co-op Homes one, I'm walking down this road and telling you why you should be a member of a board and how awesome it is and blah 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 blah. You've heard it a million times. I won't bore you with it. Today was a learning day, let's say, in terms of what it means to be part of an organisation, and I'm usually ever so buoyed, and today not so much is what I'll say. I'm slightly disappointed. And a little frustrated. I still think these are good things. I think this is all part of the process of learning that you get when you're a board member. But But today's the day when I'm probably not going to shout and scream about how happy I am to do this job. I can't really say much more than that, unfortunately. It's just the nature of an idea that we were discussing, which we spent a year discussing, and we're now not doing. And I've certainly learnt some lessons from that, but it's been quite tough. If I could offer you a piece of advice, and I know that I do frequently, then I would say, if you're in a room and everybody thinks one thing and you think the other, don't sit there and sort of moderate your views to meet the expectations of everybody else. You should own your position, and regardless of whether it actually ends up changing anything or not, but don't let your voice be muted. Don't be intimidated by the collective thoughts of others. I've certainly had a bit of a lesson today in that, so there we go. Good afternoon, happy Friday. I'm working from home today, and as soon as I've had lunch we're going to go for a little walk. I just came out to go for a little walk and Louis was here to greet me. Say hi, Louis. And that's what you're getting. Anyway, right, let's make the most of this temporary sunshine. Look where we are. It's been a while. That's a lie, it hasn't. It's been about 2.5 weeks. It always feels longer than it is when you're busy sitting in an office, but I think that's been the problem with my life recently, is too much sitting in an office and not enough sitting in this office. So I've come here to do a bit of work on my laptop. The parterre looks good, front of the Victoria in Palm House. I'm just going to go and check on the status of the new bar/restaurant in Museum Number 1. Here it is, the Botanical. It's looking good. Nice little terrace. Don't know how late it's open tonight. Unfortunately, like Friday nights, to me this is the place to come, but that's because I'm old, presumably. It occurs to me there's a moment in my life, in the probably not too distant future, where this isn't on my front garden anymore, and I'm going to look back at the last sort of 8 years and be very, very jealous. So I'm still trying to make the most of it whenever I can, for exactly those reasons. Well, it's quite hard to imagine that I won't be able to come in here whenever I please. Anyway, I'm currently heading towards the Princess of Wales Conservatory to see their plant that flowers once a year, only for one day, and it's flowering today, and it stinks. And that sounds strange, but its very distinct characteristic is it makes a very, very unpleasant eggy-like odour. But I rarely see it, so this is the opportunity. So that's where I'm going, in there to smell a horrible plant. So here it is, this massive ugly plant.
Back in my food system, that was all good. Very nice. Yeah.
It really does smell. So that's before, that's the flower. And this is the after. That's what it turns into. And although that looks like a lot of leaves, it's actually technically just one giant leaf. There is currently a wedding, I believe, Cambridge Cottage on Friday afternoon, which is very unusual, but fair play. I mean, it's a good place to get married, I can assure you that. Anyway, right, I've done some email sending, some general sort of adminning, and some video editing. So I'm going to go for a little more walk, and then I'm going to try and buy an interesting tablecloth. Yep, as I mentioned, I think last week, my Fridays are super interesting. So come with me as I complete all these tasks. The weather's actually improved quite a lot this afternoon, but here I am, round at the retail park, just about to go in. I've decided also this week to implement a new life rule, which is to not be looking down at my phone whilst I'm walking. I think it's a good thing. It seems to cause a lot of problems with people not looking up on the pavement and you walking into you, or meaning that you can't actually get around them, or them not knowing where the hell they're going. And so I've decided not to do it. And in fact, when I film like this, I'm not looking through the camera lens, because frankly that wouldn't be safe. So there we go. There's my new life rule. Don't look at a camera while you're walking. Don't look at your phone while you're walking. So then, I didn't actually film me buying a tablecloth. I'm sure you're gutted, but I did. We had a dinner party Friday night round here. It was very nice. Much wine was consumed, much merriment ensued. All the things you expect for a dinner party. And it ended quite late. We went to bed and I forgot to film an outro, so that's what's happening now. So I thank you very much for watching with the smelly plants and complicated board decisions and all the other wonderful things that have happened this week. I hope you'll join me next week. I'll tell you what's in next week because I've got the footage in front of me. Oh, yeah. So next week I am filming in somebody's very fancy house. I am filming a lot of steak with James. I spend a fairly good amount of time in the sunshine in Kew, as you might imagine. And then, what on earth is that? Wow, that's weird. There's some other interesting things that I can't discern. And then on Friday, we go to the cinema. So I hope you'll join me for that. Thanks for watching again.
Toby